Obviously, in the middle of an election campaign, politicians say lots of silly things, but I've got to say, what about Dominic Perrottet today? Banks must pass on the interest rates to home savers and not pass them on to mortgage holders. He says that he just walks into Canberra and says, sure, we'll sign up to the Voice, doesn't talk to his cabinet about it. Was happy for the boss of Clubs New South Wales to get the biscuit for saying that he was making decisions with his Catholic gut, only to go on the ABC and say, yes, I made a decision with my Catholic gut.
That's exactly what he'd done, yeah, so very strange. But look, Perrottet's a long way behind in this election. They've been a dreadful government. They've been in for 12 years when the failures in the school system, the fastest falling school academic results in the world, not just Australia, the world. The problems in the energy sector, where AEMO and internal government documents are forecasting blackouts, an absolute destroyer of investment confidence that we can't keep the lights on after the closure of Eraring in 2025. You know, these are huge problems that Perrottet hasn't gone within cooee of fixing. I asked Perrottet at the budget estimates about the forecast of blackouts post-2025, and he said he'd have to take some advice. I mean, this is urgent work, not just for 3 years from now, but for investor confidence and the viability of the New South Wales economy. I followed up with a question to say what was the advice, and he referred me to something Matt Keane had said. So Perrottet on the big issues goes missing, and he's now engaged in populist catch-up, desperately trying to salvage their electoral position, bash the clubs one day, bash the banks today. They'll be on to petrol Bowsers tomorrow, won't they?
But also, it's that thing where, you know, all the lovies on Twitter and Channel 2 and the Sydney Morning Herald, and basically the Liberal Party strategy in New South Wales is, oh, don't do what the feds did, let's sort of teal the party, get a bit of love from the Herald and we'll be okay. All day, every day, the pokey stuff is in the Herald, though they've got some sort of objection to the people who run around in club world, like Twin Towns. But you would think that the elites who want to change society for the better would know what you just said about the school standards compared to the rest of the world. That would be an urgent, upfront, come on, future generations, get on with it. Instead, you're going to say it here, everyone watching's going to care, but we know what the front page tomorrow is going to be, and it's some version of pokies again.
Well, you know, if you live a comfortable life on Sydney's lower North Shore and your kids go to, you know, fairly well-provided non-government schools, and you really don't ever visit places like Walgett and Burke, and you're happy to get a view of the Indigenous flag flying on the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and you think that's social justice, well, that level of delusion would lead you to avoiding the big issues. I mean, Chris Minns is going around picking low-hanging fruit, hasn't got real solutions. Perrottet is desperately trying to catch up, implementing teal policies on things like our community clubs. But the two big issues that are serious for the future of this state are barely mentioned in the campaign. The media is not putting the pressure on. Where is your solution to the fastest falling school academic results in the world? Where is your plan to keep the lights on in New South Wales post the closure of Eraring? They're the two big questions, burning issues for this election campaign. And if you don't address those, you're not serious.
Always good to have you, mate. See you again next week.
Okay,
Mark Latham. All right, coming to a club near you.